dramatization.
After a car wreck, you may have to fight with a highly trained insurance company rep whose job is to knock your damaged claim down and out. It's a bad idea to enter the ring alone against a trained boxer, and it could be a bad idea to fight against a big insurance company by yourself. When the bell rings, attorney Dennis Sperling will be there to fight for your rights. If you've been seriously injured in a car wreck, call me, attorney Dennis Sperling, at 866-529-2444. That's 866-529-2444.
Practicing law. It's been 20 years now, on October 1st, I believe. And, you know, man, I'm just enjoying life. But what ends up happening is you kind of realize that, damn, I've made it. But what about the rest of my brothers, you know, and the sisters too? And so what I've tried to do is inspire young men to speak up for themselves. And that's why I'm so proud of you. And despite what people say and all these haters and hecklers that you have, there are a lot of powerful people looking at you, and you know we appreciate your voice because you're speaking to people and speaking on behalf of people who don't have a voice. People who follow my Facebook page, they see I'm basically with my children all the time. But what they don't know is the actual paperwork says I only get them 6 nights a month. In other words, I get them a Friday night and a Saturday night, and I get them 3 nights, 3 weekends a month. Now, most people here in Texas only get them 2 weekends a month. So there's mostly guys. They only see their kids 4 nights a month. And that's been like that for me for 10 years.
Now, why would a judge see that to be fair, especially of a man of means such as yourself? You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure I don't know how long you might have to give spousal support after the divorce or whatever like that. But I mean, it seems like, you know, it would be in the best interest of the children to split the custody, you know, evenly.
It is in the best interest of the children to split the custody evenly, but it is not in the best interest of the state to split the custody evenly. Because if you begin to split the custody evenly, then that means that somebody doesn't have to pay the other person child support. And what that does is it starts eliminating jobs in the judicial system. It starts eliminating the attorney general's need to have that section where they, the enforcement of child support. And on top of that, these governments and these state agencies, they get money from the federal government for child support that they collect. I mean, you want me to just be honest with you guys? I mean, this is my opinion. This is not, it doesn't reflect on anybody here, but I think a lot of women use these children as control devices. I think they use it to control the men and no longer are with them. You think they use these children to try to have leverage over the men. And this is just something that's been bred into our culture. I think children are, in this country, a lot of people see children as a means of earning money. It's to get the bag culture, right? So yeah, they use the kids for child support, and of course they don't want to give up the child, even if it's in the best interest of the child. I know women who have children living in horrible conditions, but they don't want to give the child up, even though the father is well off, because if they do, then the money goes and then they don't have any control over it. And then some of them just don't want to see their baby daddy or ex-husband win. He wins if he has the children. They're losing if they have. So it's a competition. So they're using these children like footballs. And I think that's unfortunate. Okay. And so it's not a race thing. It's a culture thing. Okay. Let me say that again for the people in the back. It's not a race thing. It's a culture thing. I typically have only dated Black American women. I tried to date the Jamaican lady who ended up being my child's mother, but she was Black American in her culture because she was raised in the United States. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't good women out there, but what I'm saying is you're looking at a toxic culture that does not put the family first. They put the me first. They put the get the bag first. And so it's impossible to have a union with somebody like that.
But it's something that a lot of us go through. A lot of people, they do it and they think, oh, the mom did the best she could. But what about the effect it has on the children? You want to come here, son? How you doing? You finished lifting weight? I'm sorry, man. This is my oldest son right here. This is my oldest boy right here.
What's
He's
going
13 years old. Say hello, hey, Mr. Palmer. Come on back here.
How you doing?
Yeah, this is Daddy's big boy right here. This is my firstborn son. I was just talking about him. So when he was born, take your hat off, son, so they can see. When he was born, I realized what being a real father was like. And I realized the love. I loved him from the first time I saw him. He's my boy, you know, and I realized at that point, you know, what it was like. And so I knew that the gentleman that I'm named after was not my real father, because no real father would let their sons endure those sort of things.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App, make sure you contribute to the PayPal, make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
Actually, Brother DeBell, 5,000 got a question. Is there any way for family court laws to change if men and real women push to change it? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think the fact that you have more women being forced to pay child support and alimony is probably the only thing that's going to make them say we need to change these laws. Because as long as it was one-sided and it was men paying women for the past, I don't know how many years, at least since a lot of years, then there was no incentive for women to even want to change anything, because that's their fallback plan. I marry a rich guy, I have some kids, I divorce them, I'm good. But right. But now that women are being forced to have to ante up, I think there is some incentive for it to change. And here's another thing: a lot of those ladies who have sons who they've seen been manhandled by the child support system, they should become advocates for family law reform. I think one thing we should do is we should begin to do away with child support altogether.
It might sound weird, but one of the things I used to say years ago, 2 things that you might want to do in this society: stop watching television and stop playing video games. Now, you could get back to them later, but if you stop watching television, because that's part of how I got my schedule the way it is now. I took television out. So I could, you know, so if I want to watch it, it's kind of like a if I feel like it type of thing.
Right.
And you realize how much, when you're watching television or when you're playing games, you're sitting down doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And you don't know how fast the time flies.
My name is Dennis Sproul. If you've been involved in an accident, call me and I'll fight for you. I'm not an actor or a celebrity spokesperson. I'm a real trial lawyer, and I'll appear before real judges and real juries on behalf of people with serious injuries. So when I say I'll fight for you, I mean it, and I'll back it up. If you've been hurt in an automobile or 18-wheeler accident, contact me toll free at 866-529-2444, and I'll fight for your rights.
we got a lot of stuff going on politically. And the question that I presented today for the brothers here is, this is my statement, just because Trump has been voted out doesn't mean that the show is over. 70 million fervent followers voted for him in 2020, despite knowing all of his shortcomings. Trump is a symptom. He is a reflection of how nearly 1/2 of Americans feel. How does this affect Black men? Let's talk about it. And as the opening statement, it was 2021 and beyond, 70 million Trump voters aren't going anywhere. Look, unless you've been living under a rock, you know that 5 people have been shot and killed in Washington, D.C. As of now, related to the protest outside the Capitol building. One of them is this gentleman, Benjamin Phillips. He basically runs a Trump website, pro-Trump website called Trumparoo, where patriots can mobilize against the corrupt, communist, Marxist, scummy Democrats. Here's another one. We just learned avid Trump supporter Kevin Greeson, who regularly posted online about getting his guns and taking the country back, was one of the 4 people who died in the siege. It was 5 people who died in the siege of the Capitol. Post from Greeson wishing bad things to happen to Nancy Pelosi and identifying with the Proud Boys were found. So here's what I'm saying. These guys, these people are not going anywhere. They are still here. And just because those people who may get arrested do get arrested, it doesn't mean anything. And if you want to know how serious they are, you want to know how they feel, well, let's listen to this young man.
Where is everybody? Huh? You got where is Kamala? Where is Kamala? Talking about ISIS like KKK. We got this migrant caravan. You know what? We have thousands of people on the other side of the border. You people can't get to work. Our economy is going to take an absolute tank because you guys refuse to choose America over your stupid political party. I am so tired of it. You try to make it with these wide-angle lenses. You try to make it in your echo chambers have these large followings. You got 40 people showing up and you want to do a headline with CNN talking about, oh, we got massive protests for Trump shutting the borders. No, we do not. No, we do not. What we do have is a massive amount of pissed off people like I am because you guys will not sit down and do your jobs. California is suffering. Our homeless problem is out of control. Our drugs are out of control. When you have to have a budget to clean up human fecal matter off the roads, that is a problem, okay? This is absolutely insane. The meth problem, the fentanyl problem, the heroin problem, the illegal, this is crazy, okay? Like, well, everybody wants immigration, but we need to do it the right and correct way. This is getting out of control, and you guys are lying. Why are you lying? Why are you lying? And why are you so worried about what everybody else is doing? I want to talk about what you're doing. Like I said, you can consider yourself put on notice. Me and the American people. I am so tired of this. I am woke, man. This is absolutely unbelievable. Get your shit together. Thank you.
All righty. You see, that young woman is the same young woman that was shot and killed by the Capitol Police as she was trying to break and enter into a specific section of the Capitol building where the state representatives and other members of Congress were sheltering in place. I do have that video. It shows I would prefer not to show it as I'm thinking about it, but that's a young lady who was shot and killed, and she gave her life for what she believed in, whether you like it or not. And there are 70 million others who are like that. What's up, y'all? This is Dennis Sperling, also known as Uncle D. And tonight we got a special topic. We're going to talk about things Black men should know, the difference between dating Afro Latinas and Latinas. Now, before we get started, I want to take this opportunity to introduce you guys who don't know who I am to my books. These are rules to live by, how to maintain peace of mind and happiness in a conflicted world. These books will take you through pretty much every instance that you will have to deal with as a young Black man. You can get these books on Amazon. You can also send an email to this address that I'm going to put below here. And that is sperlingdennis@gmail.com. In addition to that, you can also just pay on PayPal or Cash App and send me your address and I'll send the books directly to you. But here's the thing. These books are not just something that I'm trying to sell. I'm really just trying to help you guys. I do this to try to help folks out, especially Black men. That's what this page is dedicated for, helping you brothers kind of make tops and heads and tails of this world that we live in. It's a complicated world, and it becomes even more complicated as Black men. And oftentimes we do not have the guidance that we needed as young men coming up, and we're just trying to work our way through it. So I promise you, these books are well worth the money. You can get them for $54.99. For me, a hard copy, autographed copy, and you can also get them online on Amazon. But in the meantime, welcome everybody. Shout out to Excalibur. We got 22 people in the chat room. We got 15 likes. We're just starting off. The music you heard being played earlier was yours truly. And that was some album from the album Coffee King International that I put together, Beans and Cornbread, about 3 or 4 years ago, back before I, quit the rapping, get back to the lawyer. But either way, fellas, look, we had a very interesting conversation earlier going with the gentleman at my afternoon discussion on this very similar subject. We have a lot of Black men who are traveling overseas. We got a lot of Black men who are traveling overseas, and for the most part, what they're realizing is that they are very suited for Latinas, especially Afro Latinas. And when I say Afro Latinas, I simply mean Black women who are of mixed heritage that live in the Caribbean, whether it's Colombian, Cartagena, which is technically in the Caribbean, Cuba, República Dominicana. In addition to that, we are also talking about Puerto Ricans, and there are every little bit in between, basically. You see what I'm saying? So the thing you should know is there are some subtle differences, and check out the video from earlier. I went into some detail about some of the cultural differences and how you should actually deal with the family, things that they expect. But now I want to talk to you guys about the difference between Afro Latinas, which are basically Black women or women of African descent who may live in the Caribbean and in those places that speak Spanish, and Latinas. A lot of you guys get that confused. Afro Latinas and Latinas are very different. Not very different. They have the same culture, but just like, let's say, Africans from the motherland are different than Black Americans, or Black Americans may be different from Afro-Caribbeans, same thing. And so you want to know the cultural differences. The difference between a white person from Scandinavia and a white person who is in New York or Mississippi or wherever. There's a difference. There's some cultural differences. And when you enter into that culture, that's something you want to understand before you get too heavily immersed, so you'll know. Before we get started, I want to make sure I give a shout out to Volcanus, man. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you guys. Let's make sure we get the cash apps up. I do a lot to try to educate you brothers, man. Between my very busy schedule, I know that you don't have a lot of people out there that are talking to black men about black issues, allowing black men to discuss their issues. And whether it's heavy stuff like racism, police brutality, or politics, I just simply try to put stuff out there so you brothers will know, or have some frame of thought as to the issues. So without any further ado, I'm going to commence after I get this Facebook post up, letting everybody know that I'm here, and then we'll just go ahead and start talking. But in the meantime, I invite you guys to ask as many questions as you want to. We will be here for the full time, hopefully, unless something happens, but it's after hours, so I'm free just to interact with you guys. And as long as you guys are contributing and showing your appreciation, we'll be here. But here's the thing. First thing you got to understand it, and as I stated earlier, Afro Latinas are of African descent. The vast majority of them understand that. You see? They know that. They know they're of African descent. There's no dispute. It's not a problem. You see what I mean? Latinas, on the other hand, you're dealing with people who are basically acknowledged. I mean, they're basically of Spanish descent, and they are Spanish-speaking people of Spanish and indigenous American descent. When you go places like Colombia, which is a prime location where you find them, you're going to have a whole different feel. You're going to have a whole different kind of vibe than you would in somewhere like the Dominican Republic or Cuba, Puerto Rico. It's just a different vibe. Now, the thing is, a lot of brothers will say stuff like, well, I don't want to. I know that those people are bigots or they're prejudiced, they're racist down there. And so what that does is it kind of scares them away from going places like Colombia. And that's something that we're going to try to tackle tonight. And I don't mind hitting that head on. I want you guys to understand what you're getting into. But what I'm telling you is once we finish this conversation, you realize just how not big of a deal that really is. You'll realize that it's kind of been overblown. And here's the thing you want to understand, man. It's crazy enough. You will probably find more colorism. In other words, more issues with colorism in the Caribbean islands, where they interact with people of lighter and darker hues all day, than you will in a place like Colombia, where the population is pretty much homogenous. In other words, everybody looks like they're a white or fair skinned. Now, they do have Colombians that are dark skinned and are of darker hues, but for the most part, because they never really see dark people, because they never really see black people on a regular basis, and there's just a bunch of white people, it's not so intense. You see, if you go somewhere like the Dominican Republic, you're dealing with a country that their neighbors, i.e. Haiti, they've been at war with these folks and they've had issues with them for, hundreds of years. So it's going to be a little tension over there. And so when they see a black person, they already have some developed notions. They already have some ideas. And I'm telling you, if you ever spend some time in Santo Domingo and you look at the news broadcasters go a long way to drive up the division between Dominicans and Haitians, even though many of them are often identical. If you really look at them, there are some cultural differences, and I will acknowledge that. But there are people who are mixed heritage, Haitian, Haitiano, Dominicano. And so they, it's one island. But my whole point is there's a known quantity of strife there. There's animosity that exists there. If you go somewhere like Colombia, not so much, because they don't see a lot of black folks. They don't see a lot of African Americans, especially. So they really don't have the animosity. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that you might find that you get less issues with colorism when a woman down there sees like, okay, he's a man, he's a brown, okay, cool, I'll talk to him. And as opposed to in the Dominican Republic where, everybody's cool though, okay? I just want you to understand that the fact that you are an American is gonna give you a pass. The fact that you're a Black American is gonna give you even more elite pass. So just keep that in mind. Don't believe the hype, man. Don't, anywhere you go in the world, I promise you, there's already been a black man there, and the brothers have laid the path. So don't let that psych you out. All right. If you want to get your passport and travel around, you should very well do that. I promise you, you know, you will enjoy yourself. You know, they'll already know who you are and they'll treat you like the kings that you are. Okay. So Rick Scorpio said 10% of Colombians are African descent. That's true. That's a very tiny percentage. And most of them are focused on the coast. When you go places like Colombia and you go places like, well, basically the El Campo, the countryside and whatnot, you don't really find that. You know, it's no different than if you go to Montana looking for black folks. Not going to really be there. You see what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. Shout out to Amanda Castillo. Sister Amanda Castillo, how are you this evening? I hope you're having a great day today. Amanda, if you would like to come in tonight, I want you to come in. I'm going to give Amanda a link. She is somebody I wanted to introduce you guys to at some point. And so if she's available to talk, I'm definitely going to get her to come in. Let's see if we can get Amanda on the line, because that's another subject I'd like to talk about with you guys. But we'll see if we can get her on the line real quick before we get started. Good. I want to make sure I get Amanda. How you doing? You want to come in real quick? Let's have a conversation. Amanda, blink twice if you want to come in, Amanda. I'm going to put the link in the chat room. Amanda, this is for you. I know this is a little bit impromptu, but this is for Amanda. Amanda, if you can come in, I want to come in and promote your business a little bit. And I'm sure that'll be great. I'm sure the guys would seriously appreciate it. So if I can get her in, I can get her in. If not, I understand. But in the meantime, back to the subject matter at hand, fellas. So we've established that there is colorism, but you'll be all right. Okay, fellas, you will be perfectly fine. Everybody will treat you with the respect and dignity of every other American. It's not that big a deal. So when people start telling you stuff like, oh, you should be afraid, those people don't like black people, they're racist down there, there's racism in Latin culture, blah, 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 blah. Say, yeah, there's racism everywhere, I get it. But trust me, it's not something that's held any other brother back, and you brothers will be fine. So let's eliminate that. Now, that said, there is colorism, and we just have to accept that. It's not something so bad that you can't deal with it, but there is colorism. So here's the thing: when you're in Colombia and you're dealing with one of these mestizo women, you know, they're going to be very light, they're going to be very fair. They're gonna have a certain vibe about themselves. They're gonna feel good about themselves, and you have to be the man in the situation. You have to be the type of man that she can respect. Let me tell you something. The worst thing you can do is go down to a place like Colombia and be goofy. Okay. Don't be goofy. Don't go down there. And I don't mean goofy like the brothers from Chicago say goofy. I mean, go down there giggling it up, good, and trying to crack jokes and you know, popping bottles and, you know, throwing ones around. That's not acceptable. Okay, brothers, that is not, you don't have to do all that. Just go down there, be a man, put a nice button-up shirt on, and pretty much all the Latinas there will treat you accordingly. If you go down there with flip-flops and shorts on and some shoes, they're gonna look at you crazy, especially in a place like Colombia, especially there, because they're very formal and very rigid. You are a black man, so when you go down there, they're gonna assume either you're a Colombian from Cartagena. They're gonna, depending on how you look, they may assume you're Brazilian. But when you begin to speak, they're gonna recognize you're American, and you're gonna get the American treatment. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, but what I want you guys to understand is that there is some subtle differences. Now, you don't really understand the culture. Hopefully, you run across somebody that you can. And see, here's the thing: I'm not talking. This is not the turn up trip. This is not. I'm not giving you guys advice to go turn up. If you want to go somewhere like Medellin and hang out and party, go do what you do. You see what I'm saying? but that's not what this is for. What this is for is black men, that 51% of black men who are unmarried and don't have children. And that other percentage of black men, that 18% of black men who are not married and do have children but are divorced and are looking to settle down. This is what this trip is. This is what this advice is for. And what I want you to do is go down there and know how to put your best foot forward, and then come back with something that's a winner. Now, I'm going to show you guys a little video footage from my trip to Medellin, and I believe it was 2016. At the time, I was dating this beautiful Dominican woman, and I decided to bring her from the Dominican Republic, come hang out with me in Medellin. So this is her and I hanging out at the club in Medellin. Let me see if I can get it up. Oh man, no volume, terrible. All right. All right. Now, some of you guys would consider her white, but she's clearly not white. She's Afro Latina, and she's Dominican. And although we were hanging out in Colombia, that is what an Afro Latina looks like. You can tell by the caramel skin. You can tell by the thickness of the hair. And, you know, we had a great time. Again, that was my girlfriend at the time. So, you know, I wasn't even on a turn-up trip back then. I was just there to hang out with my lady. I took her shopping. She had a good time. You know, it was a nice trip. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, and that's how it went. It's a nice place to hang out. You see what I mean? But I wanted to show you that so you guys could understand that that's not white. Okay? And nowhere in Latin America would she be considered white. She would not in any way be considered white. She would be considered possibly moreno or morena. She would be considered. Some people would consider her black. You know, so but she's not white. So oftentimes, you know, and I hate to say this, but a lot of our brothers, we're ignorant. You know what I mean? Everybody that's light skinned is not white. That's just not cool. You know, you shouldn't nail yourself down into that and even think that. That's just not cool. Now, this is another friend of mine that I met. This is just a friend. She's a wonderful person, very Christian young lady. If I can get the footage pulled up, I'll show you what the typical Colombian woman looks like down in Colombia. Typical. Now, that doesn't mean it's the only variety of woman there, but then I'm gonna show you what the typical Colombian man looks like down there. So you guys can see that these people, this is what they look. These are what we would call mestizos, which means they're mixed. They are of Spanish and indigenous color. Okay, I'm sorry, of heritage. And so they look like they're white, but they're also very short people. That's one thing that I found very unique about Colombia, is that the people there are so very short. The men are short and the women are short. Of course, there's people who, you know, break that mold, but for the most part, they are very short people. So for you guys who, you know, you may be 5'8", 5'9", you know, the average woman there is maybe 5 feet tall, you know, 5'1", you know, so, you know, it's not a problem for you to go down there. It's so much to talk about here that, you know, I'm going to just jump around. But a lot of times we think America is the end all to be all. But the truth is, and like I said last night on the show when I was being interviewed by the lady with the show, I forget her name, Cheryl, I told her America is like Disneyland. It's not real. Only in America do we practice these norms that nobody else in the world practices. So, you know, don't get caught up, oh, I'm only 5'10", I'm only 5'8". I'm too short. I can't get these fine women. I'm telling you, man, like you guys, if you begin to travel, you'll realize it's not me, it's just the country that I live in. And you guys will quickly realize that America is like Disneyland, you know, or Disney World, Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's not real. This is not how the rest of the world is. And I know a picture is worth 1,000 words, so I'm trying to pull a picture up so you guys can see. I'm about 6'3", 6'4", and what you'll be able to see when I pull this photograph up is the height of the typical Colombian woman. And I don't know why I'm having issues. Let's see if I can get this technical issues here. Let's see if I can get it up, but it'll be up in a minute. But in the meantime, let me give a shout out to my dudes. I want to give another shout out to Volcanus. He said, salute Uncle Chat, Uncle Chat, yeah, and Deacon Dave, break it down. Your insight is valuable. I have a Dominican woman, couldn't be happier. Yeah, that's cool, man. You know what I mean? And again, this message is for men who, you know, you're not married, you're not locked down. Okay, if you happily married, you got a woman. I don't want to. Y'all don't be rolling down there, man. Just stay with your lady. You know what I mean? But if you're divorced, you know, you're single again, man. Go down there and hang out and enjoy yourself. You might find something you like. That's what my poster for. My poster for people who, my post will be for people who want to get out and see the world. But like I said, if you're in a relationship, man, stick with your woman. You know, but for you brothers who you got time on your hands, you're free, you're single, you don't have any obligations, man, the world is yours, man. You know, that's my whole point. The whole world is yours. And go see what it has to offer. And all I'm doing here is just giving you a heads up. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you some suggestions. So, back to what I'm saying, I can't pull these pictures up. I don't know why I'm having issues with these photos. Okay, maybe this finally got it. Yeah. But we running up on 30 minutes here. And you know what's going to happen if you guys don't kick in on these super chats. If I don't get some super chats, I'm going to play one of these commercials. I know y'all don't want to see my commercials. Do you want to see my commercials? I think y'all do. Because what I see here is quiet out there in these streets. I see the brothers don't appreciate what I'm doing here for y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and run some commercials in a minute if I don't see some super chat donations and some Cash App donations in a minute. But in the meantime, brothers, let's see if I can pull this up for you. Show in. Yeah, there we go. Pull these photos up. What I'm looking for, fellas, is photos of the typical typical Colombian and man and woman. And you guys can use me to see their height. All right, so this is my friend. I met her in 2016. She was actually working at a hotel, and I was asking for room service, right? And she's like, well, we don't have any room service. I'm like, well, you have a menu. And she was such a kind person. I was headed out, but we ended up, becoming friends. She was just a wonderful person and beautiful girl. But as you see, she's very short. Now, what I want you to look at her footwear. A lot of people down there, they wear Chucks. I mean, that's the norm. Chucks are the norm. They wear Chuck Taylors. She's gonna have a skirt on and a jacket because we're in Bogota and this is actually at the Museum of Gold. And she's got Chucks on, and I got my shoes on, but I'm comfortable. This is 2016, so I was a little slim, a little thinner back then. But look how short she is. Like, I'm 6'2", 6'3", and 6'4" with my shoes on, and she's about 5'2". All right. Now, here's another thing. This is the typical man. This is a guy who I met down there that same year. He's about 5'4", 5'5". Now, as you see, these are very short people. When you go down there, you're gonna find out that even the doors and the door handles are made shorter or made lower because the people are so small. You see what I mean? So my whole point is, brother, if you are height challenged, don't worry about it. You'll be fine, I promise you. And you can't see it, but her hair goes all the way down to where her hand is. And she keeps it rolled up, you know, but I've gone to church with this young lady, beautiful, warm-spirited person. There are beautiful people down there. There was no racism involved in the situation. They're not prejudiced. They're not roving racists down there that are angry at you because of the color of your skin. I promise you, these are smiling faces. These are honorable people that will treat you like, you know, with the respect that you command. If you come down there and you're respectful, you're going to get treated well, man. You know, so don't let these people who are down here hating, man. I'm going to church with this person. This young lady here, I've done business with this guy right here. You know, they see you for what you are. You're an opportunity. You're an American. You know what I mean? This lady just wanted to be my friend, you know, and we went to church. We went to, you know, I'm not even Catholic, I'm Christian, but I went to Christian Catholic church where it was cool, man. It was no big deal. So, you know, all these rumors, you see what I mean, about how everybody's out to get you, that's just fear mongering. You know, and I know I've gotten off the subject because we're pretty much supposed to be talking about Afro Latina women and Latina women. But first I had to show you, that's what the typical Colombian woman looks like. That's what she looks like, just like that. Okay, now there's variations, a little taller, a little lighter, but for the most part, that's a Latina. Again, my lady that I was dating at the time, who I put the picture up of, this is an Afro Latina. See the thickness of the hair? They're not all white, okay? So when you're dealing with people, ignorant Americans who tell you, oh, you're just trying to get, you know, a white woman and blah, blah, blah. Afro Latinas, hell, they're as black as you. That my lady at the time, she looked like she was from New Orleans. You know, that's the thing you got to understand. The Caribbean, man, New Orleans was, in my opinion, most folks will say that it's the northernmost Caribbean island. And that's where all the brothers and sisters that were coming in through the island, they came up from there, they hit through Florida, they would come to Florida, they would come to Mississippi, and then, not Mississippi, come to Louisiana, and then they bring them all the way up to Mississippi River to St. Louis. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, don't be afraid to go see your people. All this, look, I'm an African-American descendant of slaves. I'm foundational Black. I've traced my heritage back to 1808. You know, to the King plantation in Virginia, which was probably a breeding farm. All right. So, you know, my roots go back over 200 years in this country. On my mother's side of the family, who grew up in Mississippi, picked cotton in Tutwiler, Mississippi, outside of Clarksdale, sharecroppers, the whole thing. But then I also have family members who are in Trinidad, who I just met about 8 years ago. Beautiful people. But for the most part, we are all of African descent. You see what I mean? So stop letting people drive wedges between you and your people. And here's another thing. Even if you do decide to date a Latina, an Afro Latina, or a Latina, they're all women. They all have pretty much the same needs. You see what I mean? If you come down there and you act like a man is supposed to act, you're a masculine man, a man who's willing to take responsibility for the woman, you know, the family is going to open their arms up for it. As long as they realize you mean well to their daughter, and you come there and you at least try to abide by the customs, you try to learn a little Spanish and show them that dignity and respect, and at least you respect, you know, where they're coming from, man, they're going to open their arms for you. You see what I mean? They're going to open up their arms and embrace you in the family. If you learn Spanish, man, oh my God, the typical family is going to say, wow, okay, he respects us. Because in Latin culture, whether it's Afro-Latina, respect is preeminent. That's the most important thing. They want respect. And you give respect, you will get respect. If you're a respectable person, you're going to be fine. You know, if you come down there and see, and another thing, you got to be a man. You can't just, if you are the type of no good scoundrel that some of us are here in the United States, and you take that no good scoundrelness down to one of these countries, you're going to probably get the same response you get here. You're going to get labeled no good scoundrel, and that's going to be that. Yeah, there you go. So be respectful, be kind, be considerate, try to learn the customs. I kind of mentioned something earlier to you guys about, being gentlemen. I mean, following the kind of form, the norms. And this applies to both. If you're dealing with a Afro Latina or a Latina woman, there are certain cultural requirements. If this is your woman, then you treat her like your woman. All that, you got to open doors, man. You got to hold her arm. You hold her arm next to you when you're walking across the street. Hold her hand when you're walking down the street. If y'all have that type of relationship, she's going to be affectionate with you. It's genuine. You're dealing with feminine women who are used to being around masculine men who protect them. This is the culture that they were raised in. So as long as you can fit in with that, man, you'll be fine. Now, I know that's new because a lot of these ladies that we deal with here in the United States, they are feminist oriented. And so because of that, they don't even know how to respond to having a man open doors for them and whatnot. And I know you guys are going to have to get used to that. But see, when you do that, man, that carries a long way. You know how to conduct yourself at dinner. You're not slopping down your food and speaking with your mouth open. Food particles are falling out. You're doing well. You see, because let me tell you something. I know many Colombians, and Colombia is a beautiful country, but they're not rich. They're down there right now eating dinner, eggs and rice. Probably some of them don't even eat meat in every meal. Eggs, rice, maybe a little steak, and they're happy. You see, they're happy. And I promise you, if I showed you some of these photographs of how they live it, you'd be like, damn, that's beautiful down there. My God, why would anybody ever want to come move to this country? Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. It's a beautiful country down there. And a lot of them don't want to leave. And they don't want your money. So it doesn't matter if you have money, if you're sloppy, disrespectful, you have no manners, you have no class, you're going to get treated accordingly. You're going to get treated like trash, and then you're making us all look bad. So conduct yourself like a man is supposed to conduct himself. I'm not saying you need to go down there with a sport coat, but it's the way you talk to people, where you sit, even if you don't speak a bit of English, a bit of Spanish. If you meet people and you smile, hola, at least they know you're trying. Don't go down there and be hardy, talking loud, over talking people, frowning at people. Not that I don't think you guys do any of that, but that's just generally go down there and be open to the culture. That doesn't mean you have to eat all the food. That doesn't mean you have to, instantly take to everything, but be open. Now, Afro Latinas and Latinas, it's still Latin culture. And I'm gonna tell you something. If you really, really want to get in good with a Latina woman, with a Latina, if you really want to get in good, you're gonna have to learn how to dance the way they dance there. Okay. Now, of course, they look at hip hop, and most of them know how to twerk, and they got their own versions of twerk, and all that other stuff. But be mindful that in the Dominican Republic, bachata was invented there in the streets. And in places like Colombia, they're very keen on salsa. And that's really is really just a two-step. And you can learn how to do it real quick. But if you learn how to do it and you can dance with a woman, you throw a little Spanish in there, that it's not that you're sweeping her off her feet. You're showing her that you're embracing her culture. And nothing will get you in the door faster than embracing a woman's culture when she knows that she's not going to have to bend over backwards to conform to your culture, and that you're willing to embrace her culture. Man, you all in. You all in. And Black Ronan said no commercials. I'm about to run a commercial because you guys are y'all tight on the money, but we got some people holding me down. Shadow Walker dropping something off for the plate. Peace to the brothers. Move around the world. Yes, sir. Amen to that. Let me see who else. We want to give a shout out to Eric Glenn, True Alpha Man 06. Yeah, brother. I represent for the brothers, man. But this is a brother thing. A lot of you guys know I'm a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha since spring 1998. But I'm a black man first, and I love all my brothers, and I want to see you brothers do well for yourself. The whole world is yours, man. And it's sometimes I feel like, you know, I'm the guy that has discovered gold in them there hills. And, you know, coming back telling you brothers, man, come on over here, man. It's gold over here, man. Just come see, check it out. And it's just hard. And I just get tired, man. And, you know, I used to try to tell brothers and tell my friends, they just wouldn't listen. So I'm very happy that I discovered the manosphere, because there's a lot of like-minded men here. But thank you very much. So we'll take a few comments here, and then we'll move on to some more things that I want to talk about. Our expert said Colombian 10s and 20s in the States, DR bodies are way better. So basically what he's saying is that Colombian women are gorgeous. Now, the lady you saw, you know, she was pretty, but I'm telling you that I can't even pull the film up. I would love to be able to pull up some of the other video I have, but, you know, it's just hard to get this stuff in. But men travel from all around the world to go to places to go to Colombia. They're said to have the most beautiful women in the world, you know, and phenotypically speaking, they look like what a lot of guys, they look like a bunch of light-skinned Vanessa Williams with hair down their back. You know, that's how they look. Their bodies, they pride themselves on their bodies. I personally like Dominican women better, just because I just like that color, that little hint of color. I like that the body type. You know, Dominican women are known for having the big derrieres of the Latino culture. It's funny, but if you listen to their music, they'll say stuff like, yeah, you know, the Latino women they got the biggest, most grandest, derrieres, which you shouldn't objectify women, but hell, why we lie? Let's keep it 100. We black men, we know what we like. But I like a woman with some color, and I find, my opinion is Dominican women are soft and they're sweeter, and their hair and whatnot. Colombian women, they're pretty rigid. And when you break down those barriers, they're as fiery as any other, you know, Latino woman that you would imagine. Okay, but they're very conservative. They're very conservative on the exterior. Okay, and we kind of got into Dominican versus Colombian, but because they're so diametrically opposed, I think it's cool. You know, I find Dominican women are very humorous. They come from a culture where it's very gregarious. They're funny. They do funny stuff. I think they make a really good match for black men. I think that's why we have so many black men who enjoy, you know, who end up marrying, you know, Dominican women. The lady that I was dating back in 2016, she ended up getting married to some guy. Like, okay, baby, great. I'm happy for you. You know, I wasn't ready to get married at that time. But I'm proud of her, and I'm happy for her, and I support the union. I haven't heard from her, of course, in 4 years, because she got married. I respect that. But, you know, there are so many beautiful women throughout Latin America, and whether they're African mixed with African, whether they're indigenous and mixed with European. For the most part, family, everybody over here in these states and the Western Hemisphere has some dilution, you know. So I believe in love, whatever lady makes you happy. If you find somebody who's submissive, loving, and treating you well, that's what you should go with. But look, Rocket Man says, so what if they say you're trying to get a white woman? Their opinions don't matter. I guess Rocket Man is alluding to the fact, I don't know who they is. I'm assuming you're saying some Black American women or something like that. But it really don't matter to me what they say. Amanda Castillo, buenos tardes. ¿Cómo está usted, señora? Hello?
Hello.
How are you doing? This is a very pleasant surprise. So, fellas, I would like to introduce you to Amanda Castillo. This is my real estate agent. That beautiful villa that you guys saw me in, and I'll put the video up because you know the guys need to see it. This is the beautiful. This is me. Y'all, let's let them look at me. I know they're throwing up right now. Okay, so let's donate to the super chat, man. Let's make it happen. Anyway, introduce us to you, please, Amanda. Please tell us who you are officially, señora. Si tú quieres hablar español, no problema. Si quieres hablar inglés, no problema para mí. Pero,
Spanish, really?
Sí, por favor, pero los hombres aquí no hablan español. Muchos gringos, americanos, solo hablan inglés. Solo mí, no habla español. Pero yo complete. It's no problem. No problem.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I told you I was like a little sick, but I'm so excited of being here. That's why I make it happen, and I'm here. So I'm a real estate in DR. So every time Mr. Dennis come to DR, I'm the person who is in charge of finding something beautiful for him, like villas, apartment, and I also do insurance, but I own real estate agents here in the Dominican Republic. In Spanish, mi nombre es Amanda Castillo y soy agente de bienes raíces.
All right. So basically, guys, Amanda is a lady. She's my plug, okay? And this is who I call when I want one of those nice villas. Amanda is who I call, and she'll find me a place. She can find me a place in Puerto Plata, Cabarete. I kind of stay away from Sosúa. I like Cabarete because I come down there with my children, and I like Puerto Plata because I used to have a house in Torre Alta, Puerto Plata, and there's a large expatriate community of Black men in Puerto Plata, opening businesses, they're getting married, and they're staying there. What's it been like? Okay, so here's the thing. You and I have had these conversations, and I've kind of taken Amanda under my wing, and because she's one of these young women out there who's pushing, and she's trying to get her business started, and she's been doing great, selling insurance, doing real estate. And when I see people out there hustling, man, I'm down with the hustlers. I love to talk to the hustlers, and I oftentimes will counsel guys, and a lot of the guys that I've counseled, they've turned into millionaires and making money. You've seen some of them appear here, and so Amanda's one of those. So I'm just so happy about her progress. But here's the thing, Amanda. I wanted you to let's have a fun conversation first, right?
Okay.
You once told me about the trying to find a guy to date in northern in the North Coast. Tell me what that experience is like for a young woman who's a businesswoman who no está chica, tú es la mujer normal, tú es la mujer de negocios. In other words, she is not there. She's not from sale. The vast majority of the women in the Dominican Republic are respectable, hardworking women, and you guys should just throw all that out the window. And that's who you're looking at right now. This is a businesswoman. She's here. She's making money. But what's the dating scene like for a woman like yourself? Tell me what it's like. What do the guys want down there?
Oh my God, I can't say, because I think everywhere in the world can be difficult to find and meet somebody. Yeah. But here in the Dominican Republic, in the North Coast, when you are trying, to do business where, you want to be with somebody, but here it's very difficult. Mm-hmm. I've been trying, I've been in relationship, doing my best, and there is a lot of things we can spend all the night here talking about, but the most difficult is to deal with men. Just like you said before, they are not humble enough to understand that the woman can work and she can also bring things to the table, that they want to be in control. They want to control everything. They don't want to see the woman grow up to do business, to be able to support the family also. And this is the worst part here. I don't know how it's there in America, but I think here, Dominicans, they are very difficult by understanding that the woman also can work and have, things going on and be successful and bring things to the table. I think this is the worst part.
So basically, the Dominican men don't want you guys working and taking care of the family. They take offense to that, basically. Is that what you're saying?
No, not most of the time, because this is another side of the part, They don't want you to work most of the time because they want to be in control of you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even want you to have friends. They don't want you to be able, because they think if you work, like in my case, if I work and, you know, I don't need you for what you can bring to the table. I need you for other things. So this is one side. But on the other side, after you are in a relationship with them and after you have children, they are not supporting enough.
Yeah. Well, you know, Logic Win says that's a shame. She seems like a balanced woman, sweet, feminine, but you can tell that she's not a pushover. Reminds me of my mom. Yeah, well, this is what I'm trying to tell you, fella. Amanda Castillo is the type of woman that you men should go to the Dominican Republic to meet. But instead, what you're going down there to meet, okay, this is what you guys are going down there to meet. I know what you're doing when you go down there. Y'all going down there to meet women like.
Exactly.
That's what y'all going down there to meet, okay? I know what you're doing out here in the streets, okay? That's what they're going. But that's not what you need to meet. You need to meet somebody like Amanda. In the meantime, Amanda, you once said that the Americans come down and they want 10 women in a pool. So it's not. So you can't have them, right?
like if I see somebody walking on the street, they try to talk to me. I'm like, because it's difficult, you know, and then because I see what they're doing. I know everybody's not the same, and I try to tell my friends it's not the same. You can find somebody different, but it's really hard. Like sometimes you try to date somebody, but later you see them around. You know, it's like, oh my god.
He's around here turning up. But so, what type of properties do you have available for folks? Like, because the guys want to know. I mean, I'm trying to tell these guys. See, a lot of black men are shamed into not coming down to the Dominican Republic. Don't go down there. Those women are gonna put voodoo on you. They're a bunch of what do they call it? Bruja. They're gonna put that bruja on you. You're gonna be, you know. And I try to explain, you know, it's a Catholic country. It's a Christian country. They don't do the bruja there. You guys are tripping, you know. But a lot of times, you get a lot. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Don't you see a lot of white men down there?
Of course, we have a lot of Canadian. A lot of white people from the States who own properties here, like villas, penthouse, apartment. I have a team that we also do property manager. We have Canadian couple who do investments here. And we have a lot of people from everywhere. You have a lot of places, like Dennis says before, when he want to come with the children. We have places in Cabarete that you don't see a lot of people around, like, because Sosua is more like for nightclubs and discos at night. But we also have a lot of places here where you can see a lot of Dominicans with a lot of culture, education, professional, and a lot of families also.
Yeah. And you know, and so it's not just about going down there to turn up. And I've been telling these fellas, Dominican women, to me, they make the best, in my opinion, and I haven't had one yet, but I feel like they make the best wine because you know how I feel. I love mango. You know, I love mango. That is my new favorite. And you know, and I just really enjoy the humor of Dominican women and the Dominican people. You know, I've made some great friends down there, Humberto, and so many other people who I just love to go see them. You know, Humberto's my taxi driver. He actually made an appearance in my television show. That's my guy. I've been knowing him 7 years now. You know, they're just the most wonderful people you can ever meet. But the thing is, here's the thing, fellas, if you're going to the Sosua area, Amanda is a real estate agent there. Amanda, what's your email address? Because I want to make sure you do business your way.
My email address is Amanda at islenarealestate.com.
Tell that again, Elena,
SL.
ESL, yeah.
Hello, you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you fine. Amanda, ESL.
Okay, ANA realestate.com.
Oh, AmandaRealestate.com.
No, it's islenarealestate.com. Let me see if I show you.
type it for me. Type it for me in the private chat, and I'll post it up for everybody. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and because I want you guys, if you guys need a property, I want you to hit her up. Because see, here's the thing: everybody's willing to stay in the hotels, but now at this point, it's hard to stay in the hotels because the hotels are closed. And what you do is you get a private villa, you get a private apartment. You'll pay much less money for it. You have all your privacy. You'll most likely get a gate. You can order up what you want. She'll send you a list of properties you can get. And then, man, it's just a matter of you going to Western Union, put a deposit. And I personally vouch for it. This is the place I rent my properties from Amanda. And I'm able to, spend time down there at safe places. I bring my kids down there with me. And so this is the person that I rely on. Very reliable, very hardworking. And so that's pretty much it. Amanda, if you can just put your email address in the private chat over here, I'll send private. I'm sending you a message in the private chat. So just put your email in that private chat right there. You should see something that just popped up. Okay. And I want you guys to, or text it to me. Just text it to me on my phone. Text me your email address right now. Okay. I'm going to get Amanda to text me the email address. So you guys hit her up if you need a property or something like that. But as you can see, Amanda's Afro Latina also. Okay. That's another Afro Latina woman. So I'm going to get her back real quick. But make sure you guys hit her up if you need a property. If you're going down to the Dominican Republic, she probably can get you places all over the DR. But that's a good plug to know. See, I don't just jump off a plane and go to a hotel. I'm not making reservations because I've lived there. I know everybody that I need to know to make sure my time there is pleasant and safe. And I'll see if I can get Amanda. I need her address. I need your email address. But anyway, back to what I was saying, fellas. So the cultural differences between Latinas and Afro Latinas are not so different. And, depending on what you like, you should be with whoever you want to be with. But, I'm going to open up the chat here. I know this is not normally what we do. I know you guys are used to me yelling and screaming at the screen. But, this is the conversation that we should have. This is the conversation the fellas should have. I know what y'all like to do. If you have some stories, if you have some questions you'd like to share or ask, go ahead and come on in. I'm going to put the screen up now. I'm going to put the stream up. Come on in. Let's talk about it. Let's read some comments here. Let me see. We'll go back to thank you, Black Ronan. I appreciate you said, please, no more commercials. I'm going to run some commercials unless y'all start kicking in on the ends. David Hernandez, I'm 17 and 5'5" and still growing, but I don't let that stop me from getting respect or makes me insecure. I got no hate on tall brothers. We should get along. Yeah, man, David, I'm just saying, man, that you should love yourself, whatever your height is, whoever you are. Just stay healthy, be strong. But the main thing is, man, I was just pointing out to the fact that don't just psych yourself out because here in America, man, this is Disneyland. This is not the real world. They're beautiful women. And, maybe you don't want to date a tall woman. Maybe you like a woman that's a little shorter than you. That's cool, man. You can go down to a place like Colombia. The women there are they're gorgeous and about 5'2", 5'3". And for you taller brothers, they have taller women there too, But look, you're gonna be dealing with you're gonna be dealing with a Latina. Now, they do have Afro Latinas in Cartagena, where else? Cali, Colombia, and other places. But for the most part, what you're gonna get is a bunch of mestizos, white Latinas, the long hair, the typical. They dye their hair. They come in many different colors, but for the most part, that's it. Let's see, who else? Let me see. I'm trying to look. DR women don't want you to do ish in the house that allows you to be the best. That's true, man. I'm telling you, fellas. Deacon, I'm gonna post this up. Deacon Dave said Dominican women don't want you to do anything in the house. Like, don't pick up the broom. Don't try to cook. If you want something to drink, they'll bring it to you. It's just crazy to me. And like, it took me years to get used to that, man. It was just like, I had to get used to getting treated well. And the same goes for Colombian women. Now, they're a little bit more on the independent feminist side, but if you meet the right one, man, it's the same thing. You see what I mean? And here's the thing: when I talk about Colombia, I'm also talking about Venezuela. I'm also talking about Argentina. I'm talking about, because that's on the main part of the continent in South America. It's pretty much the same culture. They're the same people, just separated by country borders. But for the most part, it's the same culture. As far as I'm concerned, Colombia and Venezuela, they might as well be the same country, because the dialect is very similar. The food is identical. So, you know, it's that's the same thing we're talking about. Now, when you start going to Brazil, they speak Portuguese. The culture is a little bit different. You know, the culture is a little bit different, and so you're gonna have a different bit of women in here. There in Brazil, the place that I've been a couple of times, they're very Afro. I don't even know if we can call them Latina, because they don't really speak Spanish. They speak Portuguese, but in my opinion, because Portuguese is a language that emanates from the Latin language, like Spanish, like English, like French, they're still Latin. Okay, now I know that argument is up for, we're trying to figure that out, but for the most part, the point being what Deacon Dave said, yeah, that's why I love Latinas. It's not about the racial makeup, because they are as black as many of the black people that we have here, especially those who grew up in the Carolinas and New Orleans, in that area, in South Louisiana. They're mixed people, but it's the culture. It's the women have a place. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, you see the pushback that Amanda was getting, because, you know, she has a couple of businesses and she's running a business, and men don't want her because they're like, why would I want a woman who's out here making money? And, you know, next thing you'd be trying to tell me what to do. That has made her like a woman that the guys there don't want, because they want a woman who's cooking and cleaning and in the house and being a good woman that's working from home, and then they'll be out making money. She messes the role up. You see what I'm saying? Now, I salute her and I'm proud of her, and there's always room for people who want to be progressive, and she's going to do very well there, you know, because she's intelligent, she's smart, but she's definitely breaking norm. You know, she's definitely breaking the mold. There are other women out there, like you guys met my lawyer. You know, she's a woman, but see, here's the thing you got to understand about my lawyer. My lawyer is a Dominican woman, but she cooks and cleans for her husband, who's also an attorney. And they work out of Miami, but she does all that domestic stuff for her husband, you know, and so she never, even though she's an attorney, she didn't walk away from the cultural values that she grew up with. So that's dope. You gotta love that, you know. Let me see what else we got. So we got Deacon Dave. I witnessed something that kind of made me question dealing with westernized women. Okay, and that's from It's Be Rich, Love. And I guess in a public setting, I saw this East African couple. The woman was giving her husband a foot rub while he was sitting back smoking a swisher. Yeah, man. Only in America do we get treated like this. If you working and you paying the bills and you hustling and you providing a good life for your wife or your woman and your children, a lot of these women are very appreciative. There should be a certain degree of love and appreciation that comes from a woman when you're taking care of her. But unfortunately, because we have so many women here in the United States, and we have so many simps and tricks that are willing to just spend money on them, by the time you see them at 24 and 25, they've had so many dudes give them money and take them on trips and stuff like that. They just assume that goes with the territory. And so what happens then when they start getting 27, 28, 29, that starts tapering off. See, this is how it goes for women. It goes, I'm 18 years old, all these men are taking care of me, doing all this stuff, and then they get 25 and it starts dipping down. Bam. All right. And then they get 30 and it starts dipping down fast. And then they get 35 and it just damn near goes away and they can't find it. You see what I'm saying? That's what happened. And so the women just like, oh, what happened? Now you get them on TV or you get them on social media trying to shame you out of dating women from other countries. Or heaven forbid you decide to date a woman who's younger. Oh my God, they lose their mind. What can that young woman do for you that I can break you off in the bedroom? I know I've been through menopause. I got 5 kids, but I'm a real woman. They don't realize that that's not what's important at a certain point. You know, sex is great, but you know, if you can get a beautiful young woman who's submissive and feminine and loving, why would you deal with a woman that's already older and you nothing is new to her? You know what I mean? Nothing you do is new to her because she's had all these other men do that for you. So she can't even love you with that love that a woman is supposed to give you for the fact that you're taking care of her. You see, there's a certain amount of love and appreciation that should emanate from a woman because you're taking care of her. No different than the children. Children love the people who feed them and change their diaper and help them out, help them walk and put them on the toilet and stuff like you taking care of. Children love. They become attached to you because of that. And that's just the normal human emotion, normal human feeling. This is Amanda's email address here. Amanda, it's LenaRealestate.com. You guys make sure that if you're going down to Sosúa or Dominican Republic, make sure you give her a call. She'll get you a nice, safe place to stay in. Shout out to Amanda. Thank you for popping up tonight. I appreciate it. You guys, look, I ain't getting no super chats. So you know what you about to get right now? Y'all about to get this work. This is what's going on.
Hey, what's up, everybody? If you appreciate the format and you appreciate what we're doing here, then make sure you contribute to the Cash App. Make sure you contribute to the PayPal. Make sure you donate to the Super Chat. It's only you and your contributions that keep this thing going. Thanks.
That's what you get. You're going to get another one.
Hey, if you're enjoying the content here at Dennis Sperling Unfiltered, make sure you support it by sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And also, hit that little notification bell in the corner so that you'll get notice of each and every one of our live feeds. The only time Black men are allowed to speak is when it benefits others. So, hey, this is your opportunity to speak. I want to hear from you. And if you want to make this voice louder and clearer, then what you need to do is contribute to the Cash App, the PayPal, and the Super Chat. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions. I appreciate it. Let's keep it going. Donate to the Super Chat. Donate to the PayPal. Donate to the Cash App. It's your contributions and your donations that are cause for this platform to grow. Let our voice be the voice, the preeminent voice in Black America.
All right. Now, if you guys want me to keep running commercials, I'm going to run some more commercials. Okay. So kick into the Super Chat. Let me get some money, man. I've been giving you guys some good information. It's helpful. I hooked you up with a real estate agent. I've introduced you guys to a lawyer. You know, you got my lawyer. You got my real estate agent. I done gave y'all all. I'm not even the plug anymore. You see what I'm saying? So what's happening? Let's donate to the Super Chat. Y'all got me here at 9:43 at night. I could be in my bed, curled up with my beautiful lady that loves me dearly, but I'm talking to a bunch of dudes on the internet trying to help y'all get straight, man. So, you know, what I'm saying is, man, make sure you contribute to the Super Chat. Look, if you guys want to come in, let's have a conversation. You got some questions? We are generally talking about the difference between Afro Latinas and Latinas, culturally speaking. I kind of gave you guys a breakdown. You understand that you want to be a man down there. You want to hold a woman's arm when you're crossing the street. You want to kind of open doors. You want to show manners. You want to show your dignity and the respect that you have for yourself and conduct yourself that way. Because those people down there, especially in places like Colombia and especially in places like Santo Domingo, where you're around the other, you know, upper echelon people who are in the Dominican society groups, you want to conduct yourself not like a tourist. Okay, you may even want to bring a sport coat. And see, this is for you guys who want to get real wives. This is for you guys who want to have real substantial relationships, not for the dudes that want to go turn up. This is guys, you want to have a good relationship with a good woman. You want to bring the best out of her, and you got to be the best man you can be. So that's why I'm telling you guys, you know, this is the type of manhood training. I believe you guys should have good women. I want you guys to have good. I want you brothers to have good women that support you and love you, and you know, that make you happy. That's what I want for you guys. So that's why I'm having these conversations. You want to come in? You want to come chop it up with me? Look, the chat, the screen, the stream is in the chat. Come, let's have this conversation. We got 53 people in here. Let's get the likes up. You know, make sure you get the likes up. I want to see the likes pop. I want to see the shares. If you like this, tag a friend. Come on in. I'm on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube. Make sure we get this money up, man. Don't forget that part. Let's make sure we get this thing going. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it. I have your email, Amanda Castillo. She's my real estate agent down in Dominican Republic. She's the one that found that beautiful villa. She found a house for me in Puerto Plata. My children would come down there and we hang out. You guys make sure, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you come on in. And if you need her, there's our email address. But in the meantime, fellas, if you want to come in and you want to talk about your experiences down in the DR, down in Colombia, if you have a Colombian wife, if you have an Afro Latina wife, come in and tell us about that. If you have a Dominican wife, come in and tell us the differences. I had some brothers here the other day that were just telling me the vast difference between, dating, their wives who may have been American or Black American and dating their Dominican wives. It's just a big difference, and so, I'd like for some of you guys to come in. The stream is available. Come on in, let's chop it up. You guys want to talk, we can talk. Other than that, I'm not going to be hanging around here too long. But before I go, I want to make sure I acknowledge a couple of people because we got some money here on the Cash App. Let's see, I want to give a shout out to Dwayne Adams, thank you so much. Peter Boyer, thank you. Wesley Green, good looking out. Lil B, thank you. She says support for Dennis. Let me see. Eric Goodman, thank you. And then Darden, thank you so much, fellas. I appreciate the Cash App. We got some guys here who kicked in on the super chat. He said, don't tell the game on the turn up. Hey, man, if you want to go turn up, man, you're a grown man, go turn up. And like I was telling you guys, and I didn't get a chance to talk to Amanda about this too deep, but look, when I first started going to the Dominican Republic in 2011, it was nothing but a bunch of white guys down there. The white guys have had that place locked up, sold up for years. Matter of fact, it was the Germans that started hanging out in Sosua and Puerto Plata. They even have a bar there called German Bar, okay? And it's right there smack dab in the middle of the town. You brothers are late. White guys been doing this all the time. You can't tell these white guys that they can't go here and there. They're not listening to those white women like that. It's only Black men who are so beholden to Black women and what they have to say that we let them paralyze us for fear. You afraid of what this woman is going to say about you if you go out there and begin to enjoy your life and have a good time. What kind of man are you? That doesn't even make sense. Men don't operate like that. You don't let women dictate to you how you're supposed to live, especially women that aren't your wife. You letting your mama tell you what to do, and you over 18 years old and paying your own bills. You worried about what your sister and your auntie and your grandma have to say. Man, when you get old enough, man, you're supposed to move as far away from those women as you can. We often compare ourselves to lions. The first thing a lion does when he becomes of age is he gets up and he gets the hell away from all of the lionesses that he's related to. But a lot of us are stuck on stoop. We hang out, we stay down with our family, we mama's boys. Not me. As soon as I turned 18, I moved clean across the country as far away from where my people were as I could. And I think that's what you're supposed to do. And you need to have that sort of independence. Stop worrying about, one of the brothers said this, and I'm going to go back and read this. I guess I need to revisit this. He said, what do we do? What does his brother said? Basically, what do we do if they talk bad about us? I don't care what women have to say about me living my life and enjoying my life, because they're not going to make you happy. You make your own self happy. You got to live your life. Okay, you have to enjoy your life. You got to live your life. You have to do that. You can't worry about that. So, this conversation, a lot of people you don't even want to like the live stream because you're afraid, that somebody might find out you like a topic that says things Black men should know, the difference between Afro Latinas and Latinas. You can't even talk about this stuff. The only place you can talk about this is somewhere on the internet. And I'm just so happy to be talking about it right now. All right. So, dispel all that. But fellas, hey, let's get this conversation going. You guys want to come in and talk to me? Let's come on in and have the conversation. I got a few minutes left. If you guys want to talk, cool. If not, we ain't got to. But in the meantime, man, shout out to everybody who contributed to the Cash App. Let's get the likes up. Let me see something. Didn't you just mention, so what, they say you're going to get a white woman? Didn't you just mention, so what, they say you're going to get I don't know what that means, bro. We got a comment from Rocket Man. Didn't you just mention, so what, they say? I don't know. But anyway, Hey, I appreciate you guys. I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying this conversation. I love to get some of you brothers in to have this conversation with me. I love to put this talk. I know this is a hot topic. The reason I know is because I read my analytics. And I know when I talked about traveling overseas, that was one of the highest rated videos I had. So I know you brothers have a lot of questions. You met Amanda Castillo. You know how to get in contact with her. I put her email up a few minutes ago. But if you want to have a conversation about this topic, come on in. Let's talk about it. If not, that's cool too. We'll revisit something else another day. But look, fellas, in the meantime, man, and I guess the most important thing, as far as traveling, whether you're dating an Afro Latina, whether you're dating somebody of Asian descent, when you go, one of the brothers who likes to go down to Eastern Europe, the most important thing is, man, learn the culture. Learn to speak some key phrases in the language. Immerse yourself in the culture. Eat the food. Learn to dance the dances. Figure out what the cultural norms is. Make your transition easier. I'm telling you, I promise you, this is universal. If you learn a woman's language, then you unlock the key to her culture. Once you learn her culture, man, you're in. That's when you can start having a substantial relationship. It's much more. The reason that I've had such good relationships with Dominican women is because I understand the culture, because I stayed there. I've been going there since 2011 and lived there for 4 years. And it makes it much easier for me to understand where they're coming from. I have expectations based on what I know to be true of their culture. And when I meet them, they're like, oh, this guy knows. He's not just a typical gringo. You see what I mean? Same thing with places like Colombia, where you're going to have a vast majority of Latinas of mestizo descent. Yeah, I get it. The black, the white, the mixture, with all that. You're going to find more racism up here in the United States amongst the mestizos here, the white Latinos here, than you will in the countries where they're from. That's crazy to say, but because we live in the United States and is racially charged, there's more racism here than it is in the countries where a lot of these people are from. When you go down there, they got relatives that look like us, black men. They got relatives that look like that are darker. You see what I mean? And they understand that they're all at the same party. But when they come up here, because we operate on racial lines and racial divisions, they fall in. That's our culture. It's strange, but that's our culture. And so when people come, they fall in. So don't be afraid. Whoever you want to date, whoever you love, you find a good woman that takes care of you, man, run with that, man. If you guys want to come in and chop it up, let's chop it up. The stream is open. Click on the stream. Let's come in. We'll have this conversation. In the meantime, man, let's get the likes up. Let's get the Cash App popping. I will run this commercial again if I need to, but I would prefer not to. I would prefer you guys just contribute to the super chat. But, other than that, man, that's it, man. That's really all I have to say. If nobody has any questions, man, you guys don't have anything else to talk about, cool, no problem. But look, like I said earlier on, make sure you buy my books. You can get the books on Amazon. Rules to Live By: How to Maintain Peace of Mind and Happiness in a Conflicted World, Volumes 1, 2, and 3. I'd love for you guys to begin to give me the feedback on it. It will definitely take you to the tour. This is what the back of the books look like. Rules to Live By, man. I'm in there like swimwear. All right, so make sure you check those books out on Amazon. If you'd like a copy, you can simply email me. I'm gonna put the PayPal up. I'm gonna put the super chat up. I'm gonna put the Cash App up, man. Make sure you contribute. And other than that, man, I guess you guys are quiet tonight. It's getting late. I'm tired myself. So, we'll revisit some discussions tomorrow. It's a lot coming up. I like to probably talk. I want to probably go back and talk a little bit about some politics, because there's a lot going on in the world that I think we need to address as Black men. But, this is kind of like holiday low stress stuff that we're talking about vacation and enjoying life. But other than that, man, I appreciate the conversation we had. Thanks to everybody who contributed to the super chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the comments. I'm humbly appreciative of what you guys do for me. You guys keep me motivated. So other than that, man, I'm out of here. Y'all be blessed.